Welcome back to Daytime Ottawa. You know, just about to talk to my next guest, and it makes me think back to when I first started acting, and I wish I would have started perhaps at a younger age, like my next guest. Really excited to sit down and talk with him today. I'm joined by Joseph B. Morin. He is a actor with the Muse Agency. Welcome. Great to have you here, Joseph.
Hi, it's great to be here.
Well, let's talk a little bit. So what was your inspiration to get into acting?
Well, honestly, just anything Ryan Reynolds has ever done in his entire career. Because there's a lot of reasons. Like, he's Canadian, he's a philanthropist. He also, I did a school project on him, and I learned a lot of cool things about him. He's also just made amazing movies, so I wanted to be part of that, and here I am.
Well, what's your favorite Ryan Reynolds film?
I wouldn't say it's my favorite because I haven't watched it yet, but
Okay.
Deadpool sounds really good.
How old are you?
I'm 11 years old.
Yeah, it's a good thing you haven't watched it yet. I'm going to give you, maybe 16. Your mom's out in the green room there, so
She
maybe
sure is.
18, Mom, if you're listening in to us here. So Joseph, okay, that was your inspiration. So how did you get into acting then?
Well, I had some family friends who were actually on the show before.
Okay.
They told me that I should try to do it, so I begged my mom to do it, and
Okay.
then eventually she called Lisa. Shout out to Lisa from the Muse.
Yeah.
And then I started acting. Did 1,000, probably a lot of self-tapes.
Okay.
And now I have, after a couple things, I'm now on an interview.
So for people that aren't familiar with a self-tape, explain that process to our viewers.
Basically, a self-tape is like when a director sends you a little script and they say hey, can you do this so we can see if we want you on the movie.
Right. Or the commercial,
project.
TV show,
The project.
the project of any kind. What do you like best about acting?
Well, I like all the candy that's on the set.
Guys, get the candy. We have no candy here. We might lose Joseph.
That's okay. I also just like I just like the experience and hanging out with all of the directors and stuff, and just talking to them and asking them questions a lot. Maybe some of them are annoying, but
There's no annoying questions. They're all good questions. You've done a few projects. I'm going to run this one project that you've done for Sobeys and mental health. So we're going to run that, and we'll talk a little bit about this. Tell me about this project and how it came about.
Oh, so basically it's about a little guy named Charlie, who's me. I'm not 9 years old, but basically he's kind of suffering with depression, and that's symbolized with the little cloud over his head that gets bigger and bigger as the depression grows. And eventually his mom takes him to therapy. The therapist was really nice. The person who played the therapist was really nice.
Nice.
But and then eventually he starts smiling again, and then there's the shot, and then basically he just gets better at the end, symbolizing that things can get better.
Right. How did you get that particular job?
Oh, well, basically, I did a self-tape, but it was on a Zoom call.
Okay.
And there was a bunch of kids there, and then they put us into little separate groups, and then they wanted us to cry on the camera. I did that. I can't do it right now, but I did it for,
I wouldn't put the pressure on you to do it.
I just thought of sad things, and then
Yeah.
eventually they were like, oh my God, this is pretty cool. So then I got on. I met these two people, Casey and Danielle, part of Mind Castle. They were the directors, and they were insanely nice people. And
What do your friends think about this? I mean, that you've had a couple of projects.
I have another friend who is, she's also an actor.
Okay.
Well, she's kind of used to it, but all my other friends think I'm pretty cool. I mean, they've kind of gotten used to me saying, hey, I've got to go to do something. I've got to go do some acting.
What other projects have you worked on?
I've worked on a Carolina Herrera one that we saw at an airport. Our family friends saw it. It was in Brazil or something.
Oh, really? Okay.
But I also worked on this one project with Jennifer Grey.
Oh, very
It's
cool.
my newest one. It's called Gwen Shamblin, Starving for Salvation. Basically, it's about this one woman who was terrible. She did really bad things, but she was high up in her local church. She also had a mental health, no, not mental health. She just had a health club.
Okay.
And she was like, hey, what if I combine the two? And the whole slogan was you can pray your pounds away, which obviously isn't true. But
Right.
and then people believed it, and then eventually she died in a plane crash in 2019. And then people wanted to know about it, so they made a movie about it, and I was in it. I played her son.
Very cool. What types of movies or television shows would you like to get into? Where do you see your career?
Well, like I don't really see it anywhere, but
Okay.
what I want to be in is like a comedy. I'd love to be in like The Simpsons or something, like just as like a guest star or a background character. Or like I'd also like to be in like maybe a live action one or a sitcom. It doesn't really matter. I just really like comedy. So.
So you're talking about voiceover too. So that's
Voiceover,
something
yeah.
you'd like to get into.
Yep.
It's a lot of fun to do, right? Because
Yeah.
it's different than obviously being yourself. Can you picture what your character might look like?
Maybe like if it's in The Simpsons, maybe one of like Bart's dorky friends, or like something like that.
Nice.
Who wears a striped shirt. Just.
What advice would you give to a young person that's interested in getting into acting?
Well, number one, don't eat all the candy in the first day.
Okay.
You're gonna be regretting it when you go to the dentist and
Yeah.
when you want some more candy. But also, I think it's not all about candy. You should also respect the people who are there, which sounds like something a parent would say. But you should respect all of the people who are there because they work really hard
Yeah.
and like they're the people they're the bosses. You aren't. And also just like be yourself and be very patient because like there's like fittings where you have to try on a lot of clothes, and that takes up a lot of your day. So just be very patient.
Is this your first live television interview that you've done?
Yep.
So what do you think? How's it gone so far?
Pretty well. I've said a lot, so I don't really like that.
Don't worry about that. It just it happens to us normally. That's just human
All right.
nature. Really looking forward to following your career, Joseph. Thanks so much for being here. Really
Thank you
appreciate the
for
time.
bringing me. I appreciate being here.
Excellent. And next time, hopefully, we have some candy for you.
Okay.
Because they never give me candy, but maybe, if you ask for it.
I think you deserve some
As
candy.
thank you very much. As part of his rider, next time he's on,
Yep.
Stan, our producer, we need some candy. We'll be back with more after this. Don't go anywhere.
Bye.